So we've just come back from our first meeting with the architectural team. We went to their offices in Soho, and what was very apparent is that these guys are fully committed to the project. Their aspirations for the project are very similar to ours, which is always a good thing. The most interesting thing is the size of the team that we need to put together. This is something I did not anticipate. So I've made a list. The list is here. I'm going to have to read it out because there's a lot of people on here. So we need a project manager to start off with. This is going to be the person who's going to manage the operations as a whole. Everything will go through the project manager, and we need to make a decision on which firm we're going to use. We also need somebody called a quantitative surveyor, also known as a cost consultant. This is the person who looks at everything we're doing and puts a price to everything. So if we decide on this particular paint, he or she will put a price to it. If we decide on this particular door, he or she will put a price to it. As the project goes along and as we make certain decisions, they just keep putting prices to it. So that's another person we need to take on. But often the project manager and the QS or the cost consultant, we can just call them a QS going forward. They usually come from the same firm. They don't have to, but usually they come from the same firm. Who else have we got? We've got mechanical and electrical engineers, M&E consultants. These are the people who are going to design where the electricity is going to go, where the plumbing is going to go, where the aircon units are going to go. I didn't even know these guys even existed, but apparently, yeah, there's a consultant that we need to hire or a company we need to take on that will design all of that for us. What else have we got? A structural engineer, somebody who will look at the structure of the site, will look at beams, and will look at other aspects of it. Don't really know much about it, but apparently we need a structural engineer as well. Lighting consultant, somebody who's going to design the lighting in the property. The lighting in the practice is going to be very different to the lighting inside the academy. The architects have a great idea of creating certain shadows in certain areas. It's not as simple as just putting a light bulb there and switching it on. Apparently this stuff all has to be designed. This is news to me. Sounds quite expensive if I'm honest. What else do we need? A planning consultant. The planning consultant will get all the relevant planning applications together that we need to submit to the council so that everything is kosher from the start. We need a fire and safety consultant as well, a fire and safety officer, somebody who will assess all the plans, all the drawings that the architect is going to do to ensure that they comply with all the fire and safety regulations. We need a building control consultant as well. I don't know if I've got this completely right, but apparently this is a person who looks at the overall design, the overall strategy of design, I believe. I may be getting this completely wrong, but they have to sign it off before the builders can build whatever's designed, essentially. Who else have we got? We need a business rate consultant. So when you enter a property, I don't think I need this consultant yet, this will come a little bit later, but when you enter a property where you're building something new, apparently you can get some relief from your business rates, because the second you complete on your property, your business rates start. It's one of the terrible things about this country is business rates. For those of you that don't know, you need to make obviously your lease payments, and then you need to make business rate payments as well. But we'll come to that, I'm sure, a little bit later because I don't know much about it yet. Another person we need is an acoustic consultant. Richard and I made it very clear from the outset that when dentistry is being performed inside the surgery, we don't want any noise traveling outside, so that patients who may be anxious, who may be nervous, sitting inside the waiting room shouldn't be able to hear any of that noise. Also downstairs in the basement, when we are drilling and filling and working on the phantom heads, we don't want any of that noise polluting other areas in the dental academy. So apparently we need an acoustic consultant who will come and measure all the sounds of the drills and about 27 phantom heads all going off at once, and then decide on what types of walls we need, what types of ceilings we need, what type of doors we need to try to acoustically insulate all the different areas. We need an AV consultant. Now, for our business, AV is a big part of it. So when we present, when we give lectures, whether they're online, something similar to what I'm doing now, or whether they're in person, the AV aspect of it has to be top notch. Like, there just can't be any compromises. So a big expenditure of this whole project is going to be AV. And I'm sure as time goes on, when we start meeting some of these AV companies, I will talk about those in other episodes. if that's what we're calling these things, episodes. We need a finance broker. We need someone to go to the bank and try to get me some money so that we can actually fund this operation. We obviously need a solicitor. I've already decided on the solicitor. The solicitor's come highly recommended. It's a guy called Paul Shinwell from Abraham and Dresden, I believe. Lots of my friends have used him in the past, and I've already had a couple of conversations with him, and he seems like a top guy, great guy. So I'm looking forward to working with Paul. We need a radiation protection officer. We're a dental practice, so obviously we're going to be taking x-rays. We need a branding team. It's a great opportunity for Richard and myself to rebrand Aspire. Now, when we started Aspire nearly 14 years ago, I remember paying somebody about 20 quid on Fiverr to create our logo. So we haven't really had much of a brand. We've got a brand, but we haven't really spent any money on branding, if you know what I mean. I've never spent any money on marketing, to be honest with you. But it's a great opportunity for us to rebrand the company, so we're really looking forward to that aspect of it. And as part of branding, we will need videographers as well to take pictures of what this place looks like before we start, pictures and videos of what it's going to look like as it's being built, and pictures and videos of what it's going to look like once it's all done. So again, at the moment, these are all aspirations. I don't know how any of this is going to pan out, but when I realized, and I was told today in the meeting, that the team needs to be this big, I had no idea. It's the first time I'm hearing this, so yeah, let's learn together as we go along. See you next time.